go to that living room, go to that family room, go to that rascala, tell them to come on and sit down with you because you are watching now. Them is your people.
What do you say? What do you say? It's Mr. Gary. Hey, listen, here's something funny for you all. First of all, I want to welcome you all to our very first podcast show. So it's Them Your People on the podcast, okay? So let me tell you about Team Your People. Now, whenever I refer to Team Your People, that means my people. That's the team that puts all of this together, from the podcast to the radio presentations to the television show, right? So this morning we're in our team meeting, and they say, now, Mr. Gary, when you start the podcast, you got to talk different. I said, what do you mean I got to talk different? They say, you got to have some bass in your voice. You got to be theatrical, right? So I'm going to try it out with you all just a little bit today, and then I want you all to go onto our website at www.themyourpeople.com. So if I was doing it, it would be something like maybe a throwback for the radio days, So I'd say something like, what do you say? What do you say? It's Mr. Gary. I'm on the podcast. Now they want me to make it linger on like a long drawl or something like that, and they want me to say something like, and today it is so nice and sunshiny. I'm like, people, get on with that. They got too much time on their hands. Don't you all agree? Listen, it's a great day. We are at Qdoba, and we are in West County, the suburbs. You know how they say the suburbs, where you do the foot free and fancy living right off the highway, and it kind of set the tone for you. The people are coming in. It's lunchtime. We're out by like the hospitals, the doctor's office, by construction. So it's really eclectic, if you would know what it is, right? Everybody's moving fast. They've got background music going on here, right? And it looks like a lot of healthy people are coming by. The people are good-looking people. The people are coming through. We just got the opportunity to meet someone from Belgium. That's right, a lady that's in with her husband, and they're looking to relocate here to the area, How was it when you relocated to your area? What was it like? Were the people fun? Were they friendly? One of our team members said that she had a conversation with someone else who relocated, and they said the people in St. Louis were just absolutely friendly. So that's my first question today as we get into Them Your People in hospitality. How hospitable are you? Now, some of y'all may not know what it means to be hospitable, but if ever you've been to Chicago, that's right, let's think about Chicago, and let's talk about New York. If you've ever been to Chicago or New York, then you know how the hustle and bustle is. True story, I was in New York, never been before. And when I got there, the people were in such a big hurry. I mean, because I was walking down the main street on the main drag, right up in Times Square. And, you're walking, and I was saying, oh, excuse me, bumping into people, excuse me. And that was the first day. But by the second day, I think I was bumping into people, and I wasn't saying excuse me at all, because they don't. It's like a New York state of mind, like Jay-Z. He and what was her name? It was Jay-Z, and he did it's New York. Welcome to New York. Alicia Keys, right? That's what it was. And Alicia Keys, and they had the whole big song, and it just talk about that. Well, we also know that there was Frank Sinatra, and he had the whole New York state of mind. And then we also had Odyssey, New York City Girl, right? So it talks about New York and what their hospitality is like. But right now, today, we're going to talk about St. Louis, and we're going to talk about the St. Louis hospitality. So first of all, for all of our friends that are looking and listening on this, and you're not in St. Louis, hey, have you been to St. Louis before? How did we treat you when you came to St. Louis? What did you like about St. Louis? In St. Louis, everybody's really hung up on the whole big, hey, what high school did you go to? And what are they really saying? Well, I think that's a reality check, because what they're really saying is, we want to know, what your background is, how do you act? How do you know how to act? Where were you trained? Where were you polished from? Now, when you hear me say, where were you trained? Where were you polished? It's sort of like when a person says, okay, well, I am from North County. Okay, so you were a North County girl. So where'd you go to school at, right? Did you go to McClure? Did you go to Hazelwood? Were you a West Countyan? That means did you go to Chesterfield? Did you go to Parkway? Were you a city? You know, did you go to Vashon? Were you Clayton? You know, so they're asking the question, what high school did you go to? And then based upon your answer, that will let them know when you say, what year did you graduate? Well, now, what does that really mean? That means, were you part of the DSEG program? Or that means, did you catch the bus? How did you get way out there? So, you know, then we get to the Nerix girls. You know how those Nerix girls were, right? We get to CBC. We get to Cardinal Ritter. So that's the good part about St. Louis. It's made up of a very eclectic, all types of people. And in the neighborhoods, they have restaurants, which brings us to the restaurant here today. And we're going to be talking to Eric, and he's going to tell us about Qdoba. But while we get into talking about the restaurants, let's talk about a couple of things that goes in with that, right? With the hospitality. First thing and foremost, we want to say welcome to you all on behalf of Natalie's. Natalie's restaurant is located in the Central West End on Lindell. And Natalie's has been a sponsor of our television show for a couple of years now. Now, if you want some good food and you want a great ambiance, and regardless if it's dinner for two or maybe it's dinner for 200, Natalie's can hit the spot. I mean, everything is farm raised. So when you're talking about some food that doesn't have all those additives and all of that extra stuff to it, Natalie's is someplace that you definitely want to go. I think the good part about Natalie's is it also gives you the opportunity to have some good food, right? But you can impress someone. When was the last time you went out to dinner and somebody impressed you? Now, I know some of you all say, when you want to go impress somebody real good, you like to take them to Red Lobster. Well, let me just tell you this. Red Lobster is a nice restaurant, and it's not taking anything away from it, but always remember this. A chain restaurant is good and great if that's what you like, but there's nothing like going to a restaurant that is by itself, great food in the neighborhood. So let's give a shout out to those people. We're going forward, and now we are talking about hospitality and dining out. I'm going to say that again. Hospitality and dining out. Now, I want you to play along with me in your mind as we do this segment of the show. The first thing you got to understand is with good hospitality when dining out, first of all, we want you to determine what do you have time for? What do you have time for? So we know we're going to go out to eat. Is it somebody's birthday? Is it a special day? Or we just going out to eat? Well, figure out what you have time for. Because normally there's three things that we can do. One, we can go get in our car and we can drive through. If we are driving through the restaurant, then guess what you need to understand? That means that you wanted it quick, you wanted it in a hurry, you weren't dressed properly, or maybe you just didn't want to go in and interact with the people. You wanted to stop at the box and you wanted to talk. So the first thing we want you to do is when you determine that you're going to drive through, stop hollering in the box at the people. When they say, hello, may I help you? Be ready with your order. Remember, you were the one who said that you wanted to drive through, so why don't you have your order ready? All right? If you're not ready to drive through just yet, right, then wait at the first drive-through menu where you can look and see what you want. And then when you drive through, be ready. Because remember, the people behind you have decided that they wanted to drive through too. And sometimes the only difference between you and the people behind you is the fact that they're ready and you're not. When you drive through, speak clearly and make sure that you greet the people properly. When they say hello, don't just say, yeah, I want this, I want that. Say no, hello, and hello to you. and talk to the people, right? Because after all, these are the people that's making your order, right? And that can make the difference in cold fries and hot fries. Have you had cold fries before through the drive-thru? And the most important thing about the drive-thru, once you place your order, drive ahead, right? Have your money ready. You heard how much it was going to be when you got to the line and you told them what your order was. They say it's going to be $12, it's $5, drive through please. Why are you driving through for this quick service and you don't have your money ready? You are asking, is it check, is it credit card, is it cash? Have your money ready at the drive-thru, right? Now the next thing is, at the drive-thru, what we want you all to do, we want you all to speak clearly into the microphone. So, Jaquan, girl, ask the people how they doing. And Jaquan, talk clearly so they can hear you and understand what you say. Stop chewing that gum, talking about, what you want. Pull on around. Jaquan, now, I know how you all gonna be going on to the website and say, hey, listen, Mr. Gary, why did you say Jaquan? Are you stereotyping? No, I'm not stereotyping, because not only do we have Jaquan, we got Mary Lou. Mary Lou back there talking fast, don't know what she talking about. What y'all want, right? So we need you all to take the order properly. When you take the order properly, then that lets us know, wait a minute, my team just gave me something to say. If you're going through the drive-thru, say Chick-fil-A, you should say, hi, welcome to Chick-fil-A. It's a beautiful day, it's 72 degrees, and you are blessed abundantly. How may I help you? If you're McDonald's, they say, go ahead. Now, y'all know they're wrong for that. You see what I'm saying? They are wrong for that. But listen, it's a lot of truth to it. Now, is it not? So listen, we want the servers who are taking the orders in the drive-thru, we want you all to be able to talk clearly, and when they pull around to the window, look like you're happy. Stop looking all sad and comb your hair. Yeah, you know how you get around, it's something about how you want people to look when they serving you your food. You understand what I'm saying? Have a hairnet on, right? And have your nails clean. Sometimes we have people with them dirty nails, and sometimes the nails are different colors and psychedelic, and the paint is chipped off of them, and they want to put their hand out to you to touch, and you don't know where their hand's been. So look fresh when you come through, because after all, you want fresh food. So that's going to be our reality check today. If you want fresh, look fresh, be fresh, fresh. Fresh is so clean. I like that. Now listen, once you receive your food, you receive your order, check your bag before you leave. Put your hand in the bag, open it up. Is your whole order there? Don't wait till you get past the drive-thru and you want to put your hand in the bag and eat the fries, and then you see the fries are cold. No, while you're at the window, that is your moment to shine. That's the moment to say thank you. That's the moment to say you got my order right, okay? Next thing we want you to do is know when you are the person who is serving the food, when you gave them the food, make sure you count their money back to them, right? And don't put the money in the bag. Don't nobody want no dirty money in the bag with their food. And ask the people, would they like some condiments? That means, do you want some ketchup, some mustard? Do you want some napkins? Do you remember back in the day, they used to give those things to you automatically, and now they don't. You have to ask for napkins. Why should I have to ask you for a napkin? Or why should I have to ask you for straws? You just gave me some soda, or you gave me something to drink. You don't think I should have a straw to drink it with? So make sure that you're putting all that stuff inside of the bag. So that's the first type of service. The next type of service is carry-out. Carry-out service. Now what that means is you came into the restaurant and you chose to come to the counter and you chose to carry your food out with you. That means you're going home, or you're going in your car, or you're going back to work. Carry out. Well, when you get ready to go order at the counter, the same rules apply. Know what you want. If you're not ready to order yet, step back and let the people order who are ready. Because remember, you're not in a hurry because you didn't drive through. Remember that you just want to carry your food out, right? And that means that you want it right. Now, you know, if you don't like a hamburger that has cheese on it, that means a hamburger. So make sure that you're not getting a cheeseburger. You know, make sure when you order, if you don't like mustard or ketchup and it comes with mustard or ketchup, tell them you don't like it that way. But the most important thing, if you don't want something that's just been sitting up there for, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, tell them that you want your order cooked fresh. And what does fresh mean again? Fresh means that it's fresh. They're going to cook it while you're waiting, okay? Have your money ready in the inside too. And don't be afraid to give some eye contact to the person that's taking your order, right? Make sure that if you are you're carrying out what it is that you want. Check your order before you leave outside of the restaurant. Don't get mad when you get home and you want to call up to the restaurant and talk bad about the people and say, y'all messed my order up. Well, guess what? Everybody is a human being. And when you go inside and they're servicing you, you're being serviced by humans, right? Humans make mistakes. So we don't need you just to make the mistake of making sure that you don't check your order before you leave out. Now, the next type of service that you can receive is my favorite type of service, and that is dining in. Now, when you determine that you're going out and you decide that you want to dine in the restaurant, always look for a dining experience. A dining experience means that we're just here, we're laid back, and it's all about the good service. So the first thing I want to say to the people is when you go into the restaurant and they ask you how many will be dining, right? If it is 2 or if it is 4, give your real number. Stop lying to these people, telling them that it's 6 of you all because you want a bigger table. Just say, guess what? It's 4 of us, but we would like enough room because we're spreading out or because we're just enjoying ourselves, right? But then also know that you can help pick the process of where you sit. Go and talk to the people and say, hey, listen, we want to sit over by the window. Hey, we want to sit in the booth in the back in the corner in the dark. You want to sit someplace that's nice, or maybe you want to be in the mix of everything. Maybe you want to sit in the bar where you can watch the game. But let people know where you want to sit, because whether you believe it or not, that's going to add to your dining experience, right? Now, here's for my servers. When you go over to greet the table, give them your name. I got a big problem when someone is handling my food and I don't even know who they are. Give them your name. Say, welcome. I am Jimmy and I'm pleased to be your server tonight. Servers, you need to know, what is the special? What are you all wonderful and good? What's delicious at your restaurant? Be able to let the people know. Let them tell you, ask them, are you celebrating something special tonight? Is this your first time dining with us tonight, right? How did you hear about us? Start the conversation. Now remember, the big word today is tip. T-I-P-S, tips. And what does TIPS stand for? To ensure proper service. That's what TIPS is. Let's say it again. TIPS, to ensure proper service. So when you know that someone is working for TIPS, and we want to give a shout out to all of our fast food hotel workers. That's right, people, catch up with me. TIPS, T-I-P-S, TIPS, to ensure proper service. And what we want to do is we want to give a shout out to all of the fast food workers, all of the workers who see to it that you do so good at servicing your guests so that you can ensure proper service. You got to have the right attitude. When you are serving people, you understand? And again, like I said, you have got to be clean when you serve people, right? You just can't wipe the table down and then touch their food. No. You got to have on your gloves. You can't be back preparing food in the back and you wiping your hands on your pants and all that. Guess what? Nowadays, people can see things like that, or people can just tell. Remember, presentation rules the nation, and it's always good when you can serve entree, serve a salad and a soup, and it looks good, and it looks inviting. It looks like you are ready to eat it, and it should be so good and delicious because it looked good, right? The next thing we want you to know is when you place an order. Now, when you read the menu, and the menu tells you exactly what the ingredients are, or they describe to you that it is served chicken on a bed of rice with this and that, then that's what you ordered. Now, when you get the order, stop acting like you didn't order that. Stop it. Cut it out. How often do people say, oh, I didn't order that, or I didn't know it was going to be like that? Well, you can read, can't you? So you knew when you ordered that. Don't send it back just because it didn't look like you wanted it to look. They didn't get it wrong. You didn't get it right. So just maybe say that, you know what, I didn't know it was going to be like this, or go ahead and maybe eat that for this time, right? But stop giving these people a hard time. Now, the next thing is, if you don't have no money when you go out to eat, stop playing like you did have money. You knew when you went in that restaurant, you didn't have the money that you needed. And y'all done came up with these schemes these days. Oh, well, I'm going to go in, I'm going to eat, I'm going to say with some hair in my food. You know good well wasn't no hair in your food. Well, I'm going to go in, I'm going to eat, and I'm going to say that the food wasn't no good, it was cold. When they brought that food out to you, it was steaming hot. Well, I'm going to end up just saying, you know, that it took too long. Well, guess what? You sat down, you said you was dining in. So 10 minutes is not too long to expect to come out for hot food, right? So I want you to know when you go into these restaurants, you go into the place of business, and you decide that you're going to dine in. Dine in. That means that you all are at the table, you're talking. And another thing, when you go in and you dine in, put your cell phones down. Put them on silent. You have decided to go out and eat with somebody. That means that your time and your attention should be with that person that you are talking with, that you are dining with. That means it's time for you to get to know your server. That means that it's time for you to talk to your mom, talk to your sisters, talk to your coworkers, because you all have decided that we want to dine in. So now, we have decided where we're going to go. We've decided that we're going to dine in, or we're going to carry out, or we're going to drive through. But whatever you do, remember, hospitality has to be good. So what do you say? What do you say? That's this segment of Them Your People, and we are going to move to our next segment. But go to our website at www.themyourpeople.com and let us know, what did you think about the hospitality tips, and what did you think about this portion of the show? Are you a server? Are you a person that drives through going to the restaurant? Are you a person that sits and wants to be taken care of when you dine in? Are you a carry-out person? What do you say? What do you say? It's all about great hospitality when you go out for great service, okay? Okay.
This week's featured artist is None the Wiser, an indie rock band from Joplin, Missouri. If you are interested in having your music featured on the Them Yo People podcast, please go to www.themyopeople.com for more information. Now here is None the Wiser with a song from their first album entitled All You Girls.
Everyone else. You were always that is will go. everyone else. It took out your heart, starved your mind, to make you so callous and so unkind. You couldn't put the past behind. The memories are better than the ones you now find. Dead on it goes. Your record inside of mine is a wash, but I write it. Know you look so pretty, but it's all in the sunshine pity. Oh, please don't fool yourself like everyone else.
We say trying to be funny. I like it. Eric.
My
listen.
name's Eric.
Hey, my name is Eric. Hey, it's good to be here today.
Nice
Tell
to have
us
you.
about this Qdoba.
Well, this is Qdoba Mexican Eats, and
Okay.
this is Mexican food that we make from scratch every day that you get to come through the line 5 seconds to a minute once you get up to
Oh
the
my
front
God.
of the line.
Yeah.
We make everything from scratch every day, though.
Uh-huh.
I go through about 96 avocados a day, about
Oh, wow.
50 pounds of tomatoes,
Wow.
20 pounds of diced onions. We do it all from scratch
Oh, my
every
God.
morning.
Fresh.
Get in here about 7:30 in the morning and get it rocking every day.
Wow. And we talk about fresh people are really being more health conscious, and they talk about the fresh vegetables.
Absolutely.
How important is that?
I think it's pretty important. Like
Okay.
I said, from scratch is what we do. So there is no stuff. There's no frozen. We have no freezers
frozen.
in our restaurant
No
at
free-
all. Everything
So that
comes
chicken
in.
that you all put in there, and that beef
Comes in
that's
fresh.
not frozen.
Comes
it's
in
fresh.
fresh.
Wow.
Yep.
Hey,
Twice
listen,
a week.
It's nothing like something that's fresh. Tell us about your clientele, because we're here and we are in West County in St. Louis, Missouri, right off the Olive Corridor Thoroughfare with 270 and Olive.
Olive and New Ballas.
Right, Olive and New Ballas,
Yep.
right? So we are dealing pretty much with the suburbs, right?
Well, we have a really nice crowd that comes in here. Mainly at lunchtime, it's business.
Okay.
But we have, this is what I like about it. We have construction workers next to lawyers, next to doctors
Right.
in their scrubs, next to just people out
Yeah.
with their kids.
Okay.
It's a really fun atmosphere that we have here. Most of me and my crew, we know all of our regulars, so we know
Okay.
we know their names, we know what their orders are, so
Okay.
we get to have a good time
Okay.
with our guests here.
Now here it is very, very restaurant people friendly.
Oh, absolutely.
Because a lot of times you'll go to a place and where they're so busy trying to get you in and get you out, you all have really lended the place to coming in, sitting down, having a good lunch. Tell
I
us
think
about
so.
that.
Well, it's our menu, I think.
Okay.
We don't have a huge menu. We have a very great menu, and we get to do it really good. The few items that we have, we get to perfect them.
Okay, okay.
So we get to do them great for you every
Okay.
day, which takes out a lot of the guesswork and all that, to where I get to have a conversation
Okay.
with you while you're coming through my
Yeah.
line. I get to come out here and talk to
Yeah.
you, because the food part takes care of itself. You get to come
Okay.
through, and there's nothing better than picking out exactly what you
Fresh.
want and saying exactly how much of it
That's
that
right.
you want.
That's right.
You know,
That's
that's
right.
what we do here.
So I'm a
there's-
cheese guy.
There you go.
And so I get to say, put some more cheese
Oh,
on there.
absolutely.
I
You
love
want,
the
you
cheese.
want 8 ladles of queso, you can have it.
Absolutely.
The only thing we charge extra for is the meat. Everything else
Oh, wow.
is included in your
Yeah.
price, as much or as little as you want. You get to completely customize
Okay.
your meal here with
Okay.
us.
One thing that a lot of people are really into, vegetarians.
Mm-hmm.
So now talk to that.
Every single thing we have here, except for our 5 meats, are vegetarian.
Oh, wow.
So all of our rice are vegetarian. Both of our beans are vegetarian. All of our salsas are vegetarian. Our soup is vegetarian based. The only thing that contains meat in our restaurant is our actual meat.
Wow.
Everything
Now-
else vegetarian, though.
I tell you what, I used to be a real big Chinese food eater. but then I would bloat up and I swell up with all of that stuff, right? So I can appreciate, especially after the holidays, we came and had an opportunity to come here to eat. It was a real quick, good, let's go in here, and everything was fresh. It tastes fresh. It was good. So, I think that the listeners can applaud that. Now, you do have those other guys, and we won't call any names, right? But you drive through them a lot, and you get the hard version, maybe not so fresh version. So when people come in, they like this.
Absolutely. And it's the same price for the
Right.
most part. When you go to a fast food place these days, you're going to pay $8 for a meal these days, right? Well, that's what you're going to pay for a fresh giant pound burrito here when you come here, and you're going to get it with great friendly people.
Okay. Now listen, when I'm looking here, Eric, over your catering menu, you guys do a lot of big catering business.
A ton of catering.
And again, we want to tell them what your address is here.
766 North New Ballas, Freeport, Missouri.
Right. So you all are right here on the corner,
Yep,
right?
right here on the corner.
Lots of stuff going on around where you guys are right here, but you got to pull in, right? And tell me what makes your location different from everyone else's.
I'm going to have to say it's me and my staff that
That's
we
right.
have here.
Good answer. Let me clap. Good answer. Good answer.
We love our people. We love our job. We come in with a smile every day.
Okay.
Not everybody can be a doctor. Not everybody can be a lawyer. Some of us are restaurant managers.
That's right.
Some of us are burrito rollers.
That's right.
And
wait a minute. What's that again? A burrito roller.
Some of us roll burritos.
So when was the last time? That's the question for today with our people on the podcast. When was the last time you rolled Joe Burrito? Get your mind out the gutter. The burrito roller. I love it. And so this just gives an opportunity for everybody to come in, have a good time.
Absolutely.
But then they can call in and say, hey, listen, we've got something going on special in our office. Tell us about that.
Our catering is a very big part of our business, especially at this store. We have a lot of businesses around, a lot of hospitals, so we deal with a lot of drug reps and business stuff like that. But it's basically
you said drug reps.
Drug reps, drug representatives, pharmaceutical reps, stuff like that.
Got it.
But it's mainly for when you're feeding a larger group.
Yeah.
Okay. It's a minimum of 20 people that we serve.
Okay.
But we do rice, beans, meat. We send salsas, chips,
Oh,
guacamole,
wow.
sour
Look at you,
cream.
Eric. Yes.
We deliver it. We set it up. We supply all the utensils.
Okay.
We supply every single thing that you need. The plates, the napkins, the forks.
All right.
Everything. You don't have to do anything.
So you do a lot of business catering here,
Oh,
corporate.
absolutely.
All right.
Absolutely.
And then what about family reunions? Do people use you guys for family reunions?
We do a lot of families, especially around graduation time, stuff like that. Mother's Day, Father's Day.
Yeah.
We'll do a lot more push of residential. Mainly we're more business oriented as far as catering, but that doesn't mean that we can't do houses or anything like that.
Now, I tell you what I'm looking at right now, and it looks so delicious. This food looks great. But I'm seeing that you all have sweets, cookies, and treats. What's up with that?
Cookies and brownies.
Cookies and brownies.
Yeah, nice and simple. We make them, but we do make those fresh. That's something that we make. Again, I make the cookies every morning.
Okay.
One of the first things
You're the
I
cookie
do.
maker.
I make the cookies every morning.
I love it. Okay,
Yep.
well, good. Hey, listen, we're here at Qdoba, and we're talking to our main man, 50 Grand. This is Eric. Eric said, hey, Mr. Gary, come on in and talk to us. So we're liking the atmosphere. People are coming in. They look hungry when they come in, though, Eric. What's going on with that?
They don't leave hungry.
They don't leave hungry? Hey, listen, we want you to come in, and we don't want you to leave hungry. We're going to be talking about hospitality, talking about who's getting it right out here and what we need to end up doing. So kicking off our segment today is Eric. He's here at Qdoba. They're located in Creve Coeur at the corner of Olive and 270. What do you say, Eric? Go ahead and invite the people in to you.
Fellas and ladies, come on down to my Qdoba restaurant. Come on in and see us. We've got some great food for y'all. And we got some great people to serve it for you. Nice,
my
clean
God.
atmosphere, nice, clean environment, and great people.
That's it. Listen, go onto the website. Do you guys have a website?
Qdoba.com.
Qdoba.com. And so will that reach you all here at this one?
Absolutely. You can go, whatever. If you want to do an online order, you go to the website, you place your order, and it's going to get you to the closest store to where you're at.
Okay. And then we want you to go onto our website at www.themyourpeople.com. And Eric, I'm sure you'll be kind enough to give us a couple of coupons or something.
Of course. Absolutely.
Or cards for people to go on, and we'll tell us why you like Mexican food. Tell us why you like Qdoba, or if you never tried it before, and we're going to see to it that we reach out and touch you and you win something.
Take care of some new people.
Okay, well, let's take care of some new people. You know why? Because your people are new people, too. Okay? What do you say? It's Mr. Gary. Hey, Eric, thanks so much for having us today, okay?
You're welcome, Gary. Thank you.
All right, okay. So what do you say? It's Mr. Gary, and it's the podcast show. I hope that you are enjoying the show today. A little bit about our show. We are the only reality show starring you and your people. So on television, we show up and the people show out. So what does that mean? A lot of people say, Mr. Gary, where does the name Them Your People come from? Well, Them Your People is used as a term of endearment. It means that these are my family members, these are my cousin, my neighbors, my friends, and I don't want to acknowledge them right now because they are doing something that is embarrassing me. I remember embarrassing doesn't mean necessarily in a bad way. It could be in a funny way, you know, sort of like your mother when she used to drop you off at school and she used to have them hair rollers in her head, right? Nobody wanted to laugh in your mama's face, but when you got to class, your mama laughed. They laughed at your mama. They said, I saw your mama outside this morning. She was dropping you off and she had them rollers. Or what about your daddy? You know your daddy, he wore them high water flooding pants, right? And so you didn't want to tell everybody that was your daddy, but they knew that was your daddy. But you know what you were saying? Them not my people, them your people. So come get your people. So we just use it as a term of endearment, having fun with the people. Or sometimes, you know, your people can be on television. You know, a good friend of mine, she was on television, got a chance to know her, and she was Sweet Brown. She did the Ain't Nobody Got Time for That. Now, guess what? At the end of the day, Sweet Brown, how many times did you all walk around saying, Ain't nobody got time for that? But her apartment building was on fire, and they caught her with a rag tied around her head, and she's like, Lord Jesus, it's a fire. So what happened? Them your people. Come get your people. Nobody wanted to admit that they knew Sweet Brown. So that's what we do. We just see the people turned up and turned out having fun. On our show, we don't make fun of anyone. We have fun with everyone. So we invite you all to tune in. We come on ABC 30 in St. Louis on Sunday nights at 12 midnight. Or you can always go onto our website or go onto YouTube. And by 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock on Sundays, we have the show uploaded, and you get to see me live doing what I do. You know why? Because I ain't nothing but the truth. You understand what I'm saying? So when you tune in and see us live on television doing what we do, we could be doing a topic of them your people at the Mardi Gras, them your people at the VP Fair, them your people at the liquor store, them your people at the barbershop, them your people at the laundromat. The list goes on and on. Hey, guess what? You may have a show idea. Go onto our website at www.themyourpeople.com and say, Mr. Gary, I've got a show idea. Or, Mr. Gary, I would like to request to win a prize. Hey, listen, we've got so much stuff to give away. We give away overnight stays at hotels. We give away dinner for two. We give away so much wonderful stuff, and we want you to be a part of it. We want to send a big shout out to BMO Harris Bank. BMO Bank is a great bank located in Creve Coeur, Missouri. It's my bank, right? Right now they've got a special going. You go into BMO Bank, you take $100 in, and you let it sit there for 4 months. When you let it sit there for 4 months, right, having great activity on your checking account, then they come and they give you the 2-for-1 deal. You put $100 in, they give you $200 after 4 months. You can't beat that. Big shout out to RX Outreach, the prescription company. Hey, listen, do you have high medical bills because of your prescriptions, right? Then when they write you the prescriptions, go online at RX Outreach and do some price comparison. See how low they can have your prescriptions. How low can you go? Can you go down some more? Well, they want you to know that you can do just that. So we want you to befriend our places, befriend Natalie's restaurant. You know, go into these places and say, hey, Mr. Gary sent us. And you're going to see that they're going to have a special treat or a discount or something for you. Great opportunity. Any of you all out there who have a service that you like for us to give you a little pump, you like to be featured on our website, or you would like for us to give away some of your information while we're out and about, then we sure can. That's how we were able to get our new sponsor, Joe K Cars. Joe K Cars is located on Manchester. And guess what their slogan is? their logo is Joe K, right? So that means that when you go over, they're gonna Joe K a great deal for you. All kinds of nice, clean cars. And again, those are one of our people that we want you to remember as you all get those income tax checks back. And guess what? That's what our upcoming show is about. Your people at income tax time. You know your people are clowning when it comes to those income tax checks. Hey, maybe you got something to share with us that happened when the people got the income tax check. Go on to our website, www.themyourpeople.com. Leave us a comment and say, Mr. Gary, next week on your show, on the podcast, we want to talk about them and your people with the income tax. Hey, you know what? I know one person who had a big income tax dilemma. I want to know why she was going around trying to claim everybody on her income tax, and since she had 5 kids, and she didn't have no kids at all. But guess what? Them your people. Stop giving these people your kids' social security numbers so that they can claim them on their taxes. We're going to get into it next week. So what do you say? What do you say? It's Mr. Gary. And now we're going to move to hot topics, your topics. What's going on out there? You know, on the show for our podcast, we're going to pick a couple of things, right, that we're going to talk about that are your topics. And the first thing that we're going to talk about today is voting. Now, everybody wants you to know, don't feel embarrassed for who you're voting for. Don't care about what anybody else thinks about who you're voting for. You just need to make sure that you vote. And it doesn't make a difference if you're black, if you're white, if you're Chinese, if you whatever. You have a right to vote. And if you can't vote for yourself, then vote with keeping the mindset that a lot of struggles went down to see to it that you could vote, right? And so you got to vote your choice. And so maybe someone doesn't agree with who your choice is or what your choice is all about. But again, if you don't vote, then you don't even matter, right? And for all of you all who don't vote, and then when someone else gets elected, then you want to get mad because they got elected. Well, guess what? You didn't even vote. So why should you care? And stop trying to get these people recalled from election when you didn't even get elected. Now, you didn't vote. They got in office. They doing what you don't like, and now you're trying to get them recalled. That ain't the way, but them your people. That's what you do. So have a choice in the beginning. Make sure you get out and exercise your vote. Hey, guess what? St. Louis and all over the world, guess what it's time for? Mardi Gras. Oh, my God. Turn down for what? We ain't turning down. We turning up. It's Mardi Gras. Mardi Gras is wonderful. It's great. In St. Louis, they say this is like the second or third largest place where they celebrate Mardi Gras. I had the great opportunity to go to Mardi Gras several times down in New Orleans. I didn't say New Orleans. That's right. I said New Orleans, down where they have some fun at. Oh, my God. First of all, you know, the food is delicious, right? The gumbo, the jambalaya, oh, it is so good. And you know what? There's a lot of restaurants here in St. Louis that try to do a good job, and they do a wonderful job. So New Orleans is all about people coming together. Now let me educate you all about what the beads mean. And I got this from the people in New Orleans. They share with me. You know, a lot of times people just want to get the beads and get the beads. Get this. Here's what you didn't know. When you see someone who has a whole lot of beads around their necks and around their arms, they are not doing what they are supposed to do. That's right. If you see someone with a lot of beads around their neck, around their arm, they are not doing what you're supposed to do. Because in New Orleans, guess what they do? They throw the beads out. And the beads means that we are throwing the beads out because we're sharing and because we love you and because we welcome you. So guess what? When you see people walking around with a lot of beads on their neck, well, that just means that they kept them all to themselves. They were being selfish. Get the beads. Throw the beads back out. Share your beads, right? And that's if you want to keep in still with what the true meaning of Mardi Gras is, sharing and loving. Hey, St. Louis, we're all about sharing. We're all about loving, right? So when we start celebrating Mardi Gras, so many big, great things coming up. They've got the pet parade coming up this week. Last week, we kicked everything off down in Soulard where they did the big kickoff. And now the big parade is coming up. and we want you all to be there. Come see Mr. Gary. I'll be the one with the big red crown on. You'll be able to know me from everybody else. And I'll also have on a red jacket. And guess what else I'll have? I'll have a scepter. That's right. Y'all stop coming up to me saying, Mr. Gary, I see you with that wand. I don't have a wand. I have a scepter. Hey, listen, I'm just having fun with you all. The next thing we want you to know that we're celebrating, we want you all to get ready for, it is Super Bowl, Super Bowl, Super Bowl. You know what I like about the whole Super Bowl engine? When the ratings weren't where they needed it to be, when the ratings needed to go higher, the excitement needed to be built. The people at Super Bowl said, you know what? Let's put in a halftime show. And so let's also add commercials. And so right now, I mean, what? To do an ad during Super Bowl, it's like what, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, $10 million, right? For you to end up being asked to perform at the halftime show, it's a great big thing because people are tuning in to see what the halftime act is going to end up being. So we got to last year and how all of that went, and this year there's talk that they've also leaked out that Beyonce is supposed to be performing at halftime. Last year, the extra added guest was also Missy Elliott. So you never know what's going to happen, who's going to show up. But that gives you an opportunity for your homecomings, right? For your big games. Add some pop to it. Think outside the box. Bring somebody in that can show up and show out. That can make your Super Bowl, and in this case, it will be your homecoming. It'll make it more exciting and it'll make it fun. So get ready for the big game. It's going to be great. Hey, what are you having? What are you serving over at your Super Bowl game? Make sure that when you decide what your menu is going to end up being, serve something great and delicious. But most of all, stop thinking that when people come over for Super Bowl, you can just give them some chips and dip. Them days are over. People want some real food. You know your people want some chicken. What else your people want? So people want some rotel. People want some dollar rolls, some sandwiches. And you got to have something for them to drink. Play some games. Have fun with Super Bowl this year, right? Because then people will end up feeling like that they came to a Super Bowl experience, right? And in the spirit of Mardi Gras, you might as well have some jambalaya or some gumbo. What do you say? What do you say? It's Mr. Gary. We are mixing it up. It's all about Super Bowl, Mardi Gras, and when you get finished with all that, stay sober enough so you can vote. I'm Mr. Gary, inviting you to go to our website at www.themyourpeople.com. We are the only reality show starring you and your people, and right now it's Them Your People, the podcast edition. Okay? Have a great week.